Can I be real for a minute? I know I'm always loud and energetic, but today I don't come with a breakthrough testimony. Mm-mm. I don't come with a story of how it all worked out. Mm-mm. But today I am that person. I'm that person that's praying. I'm that person that's waiting. I'm that person that's putting my trust in God, even during this season of Him being silent. And today, I had to make a decision that I wasn't going to throw in the towel. And if that's where you are, if that's the season that you are experiencing, this message is for you. Because today has been tough. Today has been a tough one. It has been a hard day. It has been one of those days for real. I found myself becoming frustrated, becoming discouraged. I found myself questioning if the things that I'm doing is right. I really did. Today I did. And not frustrated because I don't believe God. That's not why I became frustrated. But it's simply because I feel like God is silent. And so today I had a moment where I really started struggling with silence and how I am experiencing silence while being in a place between the promise and manifestation. And so I found myself struggling today, like struggling bad. I've been obedient and faithful, and yet nothing. I've been praying my heart out, and yet nothing. I even felt like I have done everything that God has told me to do, and yet nothing. And so I struggled today. And I have always told y'all that this is a safe space. I'm not on here to make it look good. I'm not on here to make the journey look like it's easy peasy. That's not why I'm on here. I'm on here to be real, to be honest, to talk about things that nobody want to talk about, to admit things nobody wants to admit. And so this is me. This is me in the middle of the process, in the middle of a season where I really feel like God is silent. The words say we walk by faith and not by sight. And the word also say faith without works is dead. But I have even kept the faith. And not only have I kept the faith, but I have also put the work in. And still nothing. But have you been there? Have you felt like, God, where are you? Have you felt like, God, just give me a sign? And this, listen, I'm not talking to, if listen, if you have it all together, if you have it all together, if you're not struggling, you know, your life is easy peasy every single day. The journey is easy for you. This message not for you. But this message is really for those who don't mind being real, because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one afraid to admit it. I just know I'm not. Like, this journey is so uncomfortable, especially when you reach the part in the journey where God is silent. You know, you ask God to bless you with a job. So you step out on faith and you fill out application after application just to get rejected. You ask God to bless you with that business just to step out on faith and get denied for that business loan. No, I know I know I'm speaking some stuff. I'm being raw. I'm being raw. I'm being raw. I'm speaking from where I am right now. And even if it's not concerning a job, or even if it's not concerning a business, maybe it's a spouse. Maybe you have asked God for a spouse. You have prayed. You have kept the faith. You have put your trust in Him. And yet, you still find yourself alone. No, I want to talk to some real people. I want to speak to the real Christians out there that's like, I'm not afraid to admit this is not easy. I'm not afraid to admit that I sometimes struggle. I'm not afraid to admit that I have to make decisions of not throwing in the towel. I'm not afraid to admit that sometimes I have to express or release how I'm feeling during the season or the process where God is silent. Because I really want to know that I'm not the only one. Like, you don't even have to even expose what you're going through, or be open and honest to the public of what you're going through. But if you are feeling where I'm coming from, just drop a heart in the comments to let me know, like, for real, you're not alone. You're not alone. Like, I'm feeling where you're coming from. Because what do you do when your faith is saying keep believing, but your reality is saying nothing is working? Like, what do you do? Like, for real, think about it. Because at some point, you just like, God, are you listening? Or God, can you hear me? Are you there? And I'm being real. I'm being so real. Because I don't only want y'all to see me when, I'm not struggling, or when I'm not having a tough day, or when I'm not just ready to throw in the towel. I want to show y'all everything, because this Christian journey is not for the weak. And I would be lying if I sat here and said it was easy peasy. Every process is good. Every process is side. I'd be lying if I sat here and said you can get through it, because you can get through it. But baby, you're gonna go through some things. You're gonna want to throw in the towel. You're gonna want to say, look now, Father. You're gonna question if what you even heard him tell you to do, if it was really his voice. And let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's just extremely hard to trust God when he's silent. It's extremely hard when you enter into that process of when God goes silent. It's hard. It's hard. Because I can handle it, yes. And I can handle a simple no. But silence will really have you questioning, God, did I miss you? Like, God, are you hearing my prayers? Like, it will really have you questioning, should I keep believing? That moment in the process when God goes silent, it hits different. But today has taught me that the hardest part about following God is not the battle. It's not the battle. It's the silence. The silence when you are praying. The silence when you are believing. The silence when you are trusting in. Man, it's the silence that you experience when you have no answers. Yeah, it's the silence of wondering if God still hears you while you are choosing to say, God, I trust you anyway. It's exhausting. It's it's exhausting. It is. And nobody talks about it. And that's why I say, you know what? I'm gonna get on here because I was called into ministry. And so I'm gonna get on here and I'm gonna speak on it. I'm gonna show how I am experiencing the struggle during the process of God being silent. I'm going to get on here and show someone that they are not alone, that they are not experiencing this alone. hmm A lot of times we feel like as Christians, we go through things alone because nobody speaks on it. Nobody say I'm struggling. Nobody say I want to throw in the towel. I almost want to throw in the towel. Nobody says that. Nobody talks about how exhausting it is to keep believing year after year, month after month, day after day. If we want to go down the whole calendar, 365 days of the month of the year, like nobody talks about how you sometimes you it's exhausting. Like, yes, in the Bible it talks about how some people had to keep the faith for years. Yes, it talk about how Abraham and Sarah had to wait for years, but it didn't really specify, you know, how exhausted they were. It didn't specify that. We assume that they were exhausted, but it didn't talk about it. And so nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how you have to keep praying that same prayer. Nobody talks about how you have to keep showing up, how you have to keep believing. Nobody talks about how you have to keep smiling when you are feeling discouraged. And it's not to put on a smile to say, "Oh, I'm being fake," because we do believe who God who God say he is. We do believe that God can do anything. That God can do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ever ask or imagine. We do believe that God is not a man that he shall lie, nor a son of man to change his mind. So that's the part where the smile come in it, because we know his character, we know his nature, but it doesn't take away the part of the process when he goes silent. And so here we are. We still try to keep the faith. We still praying. We still smiling. Even when we are discouraged. We keep saying, God, you are good. Even when we don't understand what he is doing. But nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about how when God goes silent. Because silence will really make you feel like you are forgotten. Silence will really make you wonder, God, are you disappointed in me? Is this a punishment? Am I experiencing a consequence for something I said or done? Silence will really have you comparing yourself to others. Silence will have you, man, silence will have you questioning things that you prayed for, that you once had confidence about. Y'all, I'm speaking from truth. I'm speaking like for real, raw, like from what I am experiencing. Silence will have you feeling like you are standing still while everyone is moving forward. You watching everyone else receive the very thing that you are praying for. Let's talk about it. If we're gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. I'm going full blown. You standing watching everyone receive what you have prayed for, that promotion, that baby, that marriage, that opportunity, that breakthrough. And yet we celebrate. We celebrate with those that are moving forward, because we know that what we are going through is temporary. We know what we are going through won't last forever. And so we celebrate with them. Oh, wow, our hearts are hurting. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Today, when I had my moment, I was on the phone with my husband. And you know how sometimes when you venting and ranting about something, or about how somebody is making you feel. And I had to get off I had to say, I'm gonna call you back. Let me pray, because sometimes, okay, let me go back. You know how sometimes something happens and you feel in a type of way. And instead of taking it to the person you need to take it to, you go and vent to somebody else. But in reality, what you vent about is really between the person that you need to be taking it to. So I had to get off the phone with my husband and I had to say, look, let me pray. Because I felt like what I was venting to my husband about, I needed to be venting to God about, because I felt like this was between me and him. And so I went to him. I took him all of the I took all of my emotions, all of my feelings that I was experiencing at that moment. And I took it to him. Because one thing we do know, God knows our hearts and he knows our thoughts. So when it comes to being honest with him, I am always honest. I took it to him. I expressed how I felt. Father, I'm angry. Father, I know that you can speak one word or snap your finger and everything changes. I know that you can cause everything to line up right now. I know who you are. I know what you are capable of. I know your character. I know your nature. But yet you choose to be silent. And so, yeah, I took it to him. I did. And I'm so glad that I did, because he brought me back to a place of knowing that just because he is silent, it doesn't mean he's absent. He brought me back to a place of knowing just because he's silent, it doesn't mean he's not present. And so maybe, just maybe, that's what you need to hear today. Because it was what I needed to hear. When he brought that to my attention, when he released that to me, just those words caused me to really sit back and take a deep breath. Yes, I cried. Yes, I had to release those emotions. But it also brought a sense of, God, thank you for your comfort. Thank you for never leaving me nor forsaking me, right? And so maybe that's what you need to hear, because I did. I needed to hear that. That God is not ignoring us. That God have not forgotten about us. That God is not withholding things from us just to be cruel. God is not that type of person. Maybe, just maybe, he's working in ways that we just can't see yet. Because one thing I know is God is forever moving. God is forever doing something behind closed doors. And we struggle because we can't see it. So keep that in mind as you continue through this process, as you put one foot in front of the other. That just because we can't see what God is doing, it doesn't mean he's not moving. It doesn't mean he's not working behind the scenes. Because if you throw in the towel now, if we throw in the towel now, we will never see the promise. We will never see the manifestation. And we have come too far to throw in the towel. So if you are in a season where you like, God, you are silent. Oh my goodness. God, I don't have any answers. God, I don't understand. I want you to know this. God's greatest work happens in seasons where we don't have any answers. That's when God show up and show out. That's when God do his greatest work. When we are in a season, when we are in a place where we like, God, I don't have any answers. This is the unknown for me. This is uncomfortable. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should keep going or stay right here. I don't know. I don't know. That's when God reveals his hand. That's when God does his greatest work. And so I want to encourage you. Don't stop praying. Don't stop trusting. Don't stop believing. Don't stop putting your trust in God. And whatever you do, whatever you do, whatever you do, don't throw in that towel. Don't throw in that towel. We can't. Because the same God that was faithful then is still the same God that's faithful now. And as I am encouraging you, I am also encouraging me. I'm also encouraging me. And so we must remember that the same God, and I'm going to say that again, the same God that was faithful then is the same God that is faithful now, even in the process of him being silent. So if you're in a season where you like, God, you're silent. God, I don't hear anything. God, I don't know what you're doing. I don't understand. But yet I will continue to pray. Yet I will continue to have faith. Yet I will continue to put my trust in you. If you are in that season, drop a heart in the comments. Drop a heart in the comments. Drop a heart to let me know I'm not I'm not in this process by myself. To let me know there is somebody else that's struggling and yet still putting one foot in front of the other, yet still putting a trust in God, yet still saying, God, yea, though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Drop a heart in the comments. And don't drop a heart in the comments because everything is perfect or because you want to make it seem like everything is perfect. No, boo. But drop a heart in the comments to show that you are still choosing to trust in God, that you are still choosing to follow God, that you are still choosing to go after God anyway, in spite of the way you're feeling. I don't want you just dropping a heart in the comments just to jump on the bandwagon. No, let your heart represent your faithfulness, saying, God, I will trust you. God, I'm not throwing in this, I'm not throwing in the towel. God, I come too far to walk away. God, I know it don't feel good, but I'm following you no matter what. So that's my rant for today. That has been my day. That has been my day. And I hope that everything that I have said is helpful and it encourages you as it has encouraged me to continue. Don't throw in the towel. Don't give up. Yes, God is silent. Yes, we don't have any answers. But do know God, he does his greatest work during the season where we don't have no answers. So as always, stay blessed, stay faithful, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and don't throw in that towel. Until we talk again, be blessed.